high. The people of Israel lives. The people of Israel lived without Israel for 1,870 years. But the Jewish identification with Israel is as old as the Jews. The intention to return was confirmed by every exile the Jews suffered. The memory of Jerusalem became a Jewish oath.
If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its cunning. May my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, if I forget Jerusalem.
For nearly 2,000 years, the Jewish intention to return to Israel remained unbroken. And 20 years ago, by a resolution of the United Nations and the historic efforts of the Jewish people, the people of Israel lived again in the land of Israel.
We, the members of the National Council, representing the Jewish people in the land of Israel and the Zionist movement, by virtue of our natural and historic right and of the resolution of the General Assembly of the United Nations, do hereby proclaim the establishment of a Jewish state in the land of Israel. The state of Israel.
Among the first members of the United Nations to support the state of Israel was the Soviet Union.
At the United Nations Security Council meeting, Mr. Gromyko said,
"The Arab states have no reason to consider the creation of an independent Jewish state as a threat to themselves."
Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Jordan walked out of the United Nations on the occasion of Israel's birth. But the next day they were back with a birthday present.
May 15, 1948, the day after the State of Israel was declared to exist, the Arab armies who denied its existence invaded it.
Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq joined forces against Israel.
The Egyptians have occupied Gaza.
Tel Aviv bombed.
Today, Tel Aviv resembles London in wartime, and there's total blackout from sunset to sunrise. It's still without any fighter defense, and daylight raiders headshot over the rooftops as if giving a display of aerobatics. Nearly 100 people, including women and children, have been killed.
Azam Pasha, Secretary General of the Arab League, declares,
"This war will be a momentous massacre, which will be spoken of with the Mongol massacres and the Crusades. This war will be a war of extermination."
I've never forgotten the land of my birth. With its rippling blue waters, kinnerets a-gleaming. Here is my home. The breeze in the palm trees sings softly to me. Of sand on the beach where my feet can walk free. Then I sail on Kinneret and know I'm not dreaming. Here is my home. Here is my home. night the symbol of all I hold dear. Kinneret, my heaven, my haven is here. I live for your seasons, your starlight, your sun. I'll die to defend you, should evil be done. Kinneret, Kinneret, Kinneret. I'll die to defend you, should evil be done. Kinneret, Kinneret, Kinneret.
May 18, 1948, Mount Zion is captured. Israel troops break into the old city through Zion Gate.
6 months of siege and attacks, and Jerusalem is divided. A long, hot summer of truces made and broken. On August the 6th, the Israel Minister of Foreign Affairs writes to Count Bernadotte, the United Nations mediator,
Sir, in confirmation of my oral statement to you at our meeting yesterday, I beg to request on behalf of the Provisional Government of Israel that you be kind enough to transmit to the governments of the Arab states now at war with Israel our offer that their representatives should meet the representatives of the Provisional Government of Israel for the purpose of peace negotiations.
the Arabs remain obdurate.
We must ceaselessly increase our military strength. We must construct many arms factories. Then we shall be successful, and the Jews will be driven into the sea.
Soon after the armistice was signed, Arab propaganda began to call for a second round.
War consists of several rounds, like a boxing match. You might lose the first of these rounds. You might even lose the second. But the war continues, and eventually you can win. Perhaps on points.
On May 11th, 1949, Israel was admitted as a member of the United Nations. Mr. Sharett told the Knesset,
"By our admission to the United Nations, the highest seal has been placed on our international recognition. This is a major political occasion and a deeply moving event in our history. It brings Israel into the community of nations. It confers on the Jewish people in our own state equal rights with all free nations. It ends for us the long, dark history of persecution, degradation, and discrimination."
in the Knesset, the law of the return was passed.
I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the end of the earth.
From all over the world the Jews came. September 1950, Operation Magic Carpet. 45,000 Jews were airlifted from the Yemen.
The first president of the State of Israel, Dr. Chaim Weizmann, died. But the vision of Chaim Weizmann had become a reality. By now, nearly 700,000 new immigrants had come to the country, which his wisdom and strength of purpose had helped to build.
Our Torah tells us that we have a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths, springing forth in valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey, a land whose stones are iron and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. We hold in our own hands the vital spirit and will to disperse the sands, to plant and to sow, to burst open new springs, to build and to redeem, and to live anew from the reborn soil.
Desert, sweating in the heat, working there with the sand dunes burning both my feet. Sabra girl in the sun and the sand in a land that was promising, but all I had was a hell of a thirst in a cursed little wooden hut. Sabra girl in the sand and the sun, no fun, it was getting me down. And then one day in a flash I saw before me a wonderful town. Oh, a miraculous mirage. A miraculous mirage, a miraculous mirage, in the heat of a desert. To the north the Dead Sea, to the south the Red Sea, in the middle was empty, in the heat of the desert. Right before me, prickly cactus turned into a flower. Then a camel brought me an icebox, even had a little shower. Sabra girl drinking fresh lemonade in the shade of acacia trees. Water flowed into ponds full of carp in a sharp sun-scented breeze. I drank coffee from a cup, looking up at the cinema signs. Tourists from abroad all around, all bound for King Solomon's mines. A miraculous mirage, a miraculous mirage, a miraculous mirage, in the heat of the desert. To the north the Dead Sea, to the south the Red Sea, in the middle was empty, in the heat of the desert.
Hey, it's a nice song, but I wouldn't like you to think that singing builds pipelines. You know, the Yom Negev pipeline took us 2.5 years to build. It cost 40 million Israeli pounds. It now carries an annual flow of 1 million cubic meters of water, and when the whole scheme's finished, it should make possible the settlement of between 300 and 400,000 people. As Ben-Gurion said, a redemption.
So though on the one hand, singing doesn't actually build a pipeline, on the other hand, we got something to sing about. A miraculous pipeline, a miraculous green field, a miraculous new town in the heat of the desert. To the north, the Dead Sea, to the south, the Red Sea, in the middle, my country, in the heat of the desert.
The desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that passed by. And they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden.
Meanwhile, the Arabs were also cultivating their gardens.
Czechoslovak arms supply for Egypt. After refusing by the Western countries to supply arms to Egypt on acceptable terms, Colonel Nasser has made a deal with Czechoslovakia on a purely commercial basis, with no strings attached. London and Washington say that the arms deal means the infiltration of Russian influence into Egypt and the Middle East. Oh, what rubbish. There is absolutely no question of Soviet military technicians coming to train the Egyptian army in the use of the new weapons. Nor will Egyptians be sent to military colleges in Prague and Moscow. We want arms for peace, not for war.
March 11, 1956. The Security Council hears Israel's protest against Egyptian troop concentrations on her borders and 180 acts of aggression in 3 months from the Gaza Strip by Fedayeen guerrillas.
April 11th, the voice of Cairo. There is no reason why the Fedayeen, who hate their enemies, should not penetrate deep into Israel and turn the lives of her people into a living hell.
The voice of Dayan.
This country will not be turned into a living hell, and the Egyptian assassins and their masters will not go unpunished.
October 29. The Sinai campaign begins. In 100 hours, the entire Sinai Peninsula up to the ultimatum line was occupied by Israel.
November 16th. In view of international pressure, Prime Minister Ben-Gurion announces the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Sinai.
The Sinai campaign is over, and still the Arab states deny the existence of Israel.
May 11, 1960. Letters of the Jewish leader Bar Kokhba, who led the final revolt against the Romans in the 2nd century, have been discovered in the Judean desert. The spirit of Bar Kokhba, that of resistance to the last against the massive powers of tyranny, lives again in Israel today.
An Israeli army general, who is also a professor of archaeology, Yigal Yadin, uncovers the magnificent and terrifying secrets of Masada, a great rock in the wilderness of Judea, its walls rising vertically for 1,300 feet from the shores of the Dead Sea.
Herod built a wall round about the entire top of the hill, 7 furlongs long. Its height was 12 and its breadth 8 cubits. There was also erected upon that wall 38 towers, each of them 50 cubits high.
The Roman Jew Flavius Josephus tells the story of Masada.
Herod himself died a painful but natural death. The Jews did not rise in revolt for another 70 years. Then they massacred Masada's Roman garrison and made it their last point of resistance when the rebellion failed and the legions sacked Jerusalem. Then came the stunning tragedy of Masada. The Roman 10th Legion, using an estimated 9,000 slaves, built a gigantic ramp against the western side of the rock, where the cliffs are only 400 feet high. Then Eleazar, the leader of the 967 Jews on the rock, looked down upon their doom. The ramp was finished. It was clear to the defenders that they could hold out no longer. Then came the appeal of Eleazar ben Yair to his comrades that they should die by their own hands rather than submit to servitude.
A man will see his wife violently carried off. He will hear the voice of his children crying when his own hands are fettered. Come, our hands are now free and can hold a sword. Let them do a noble service. Let us die unenslaved by our enemies, and leave this world as free men in the company of our wives and children.
So the husbands tenderly embraced their wives, and took their children into their arms, and gave their longest parting kisses to them, with tears in their eyes. Yet at the same time did they complete what they had resolved on.
They chose 10 men by lot to slay all the rest, every one of whom laid himself down by his wife and children on the ground, and threw his arms about them, and they offered their necks to the stroke of those who by lot executed that melancholy office. And when those 10 had, without fear, slain them all, they made the same rule for casting lots for themselves, that he whose lot it was to first kill the other 9 should after kill himself.
Let me tell you a story of bravery and glory in 73 AD. Masada's fight against the Roman might, brave men with iron will, defending the fortress upon the hill. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Defended as Roman troops ascended, defended right to the end. But starving and weak, they couldn't hold their peak from that final attack. Masada's defenses began to crack. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Ben Yair, the chief, was calling, now make the great sacrifice. Go dig your own graves, we'll not be Roman slaves. Die by your own brave hand, rather than live in a conquered land. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Masada, Masada shall not forget. They didn't surrender, instead each brave defender cut short his life to be free. And now on that hill, the memory shining still, like a beacon of light, showing might never conquered right. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Masada, Masada shall not forget. Masada,
Für unsere freien
23rd, 1960. Adolf Eichmann has been arrested in Buenos Aires. Eichmann is accused of participation in the extermination of 6 million Jews.
A year later, the trial of Adolf Eichmann begins in Jerusalem. Patrick O'Donovan of the London Observer writes,
"The trial has become a classic confrontation of opposites. The future is judging the past. It is justice at its most satisfying. The meek have revised their role, and they have become the accuser. This is what one felt, and it sent a sigh around the court, when the prosecutor began his speech with, 'O judges of Israel, it is the Jews, trying without anger or gloating or cynicism, the chief survivor of their enemies.'"
Soviet journalist A. Leonidov reports,
"A creature in the likeness of a human being sits in a bulletproof glass-walled cage and speaks in an even-toned, monotonous voice with no hint of emotion of any kind."
Dies ist meine Antwort auf Ihre Frage. Abschließend verbleibt mir...
I was an officer of low rank, and I never made the least decision without first referring it to my chiefs. Only once did I attach any importance to my task of evacuating and transporting Jews to the death factories. What I felt then was something like the satisfaction of a Pontius Pilate.
Satisfaction with what? A few meters from the glass cage containing the officer of low rank who compares himself with Pontius Pilate sit men and women whose faces are pale with emotion. One after the other, they rise and testify.
At the Unauska camp, a prisoners' band played music. Then people were led away to be massacred. Pyramids containing as many as 2,000 bodies were constructed and burned.
No one valued life any longer. Life meant torture. Women leapt into the flames with their children without waiting to be shot.
I fell in among the bodies. I felt I was choking with people falling over me. I was praying for another bullet to end my suffering, but I tried to save myself, to find some air. Above the bodies I rose, and I felt the bodies pulling at me with their hands, pulling me down.
There was no water, so we drank seawater. The sea was full of corpses and blood.
A woman, holding in her arms a little girl about 3 years old, ran towards a group of Jewish partisans at Vilna. The pair had been hiding in a little cave for more than 11 months. The child, who looked as though she was dumb, opened her mouth and said, "Mommy, may I cry now?" For 11 months, the mother had told the child one must not cry, lest someone hear this outside.
What I felt then was something like the satisfaction of a Pontius Pilate.
On May 31st, 1962, Adolf Eichmann, a murderer of the Jewish people, was executed. The Jewish people lives on, and the state of Israel grows. 1948, 790,000. 1967, 2,700,000. an armored unit of the army is sworn in at Masada.
We stand here today, firm, proud, and with quiet assurance, knowing that our fate lies in our own hands, in the strength of our spirit, which is the reawakened spirit of age-old Israel. The echo of our oath will be heard among the armies of our foes. In it lies our strength, no less than in our armaments. And we, the offspring of those heroes of distant past, stand here today ready to restore our whole nation. And happy we are to merit this.
In Cairo, Colonel Nasser remains consistent.
The prospects are for war with Israel. It is we who will dictate the time. It is we who will dictate the place.
All Israeli children, when they finish school and before they go to university, serve with the armed forces of the State of Israel.
The brave reserves. We thought we would have such fun with French food and whiskey, nothing too risky, just lying in the sun. But oh, what a letdown! They made us get down to oiling every gun. Next morning on parade, our dear sergeant called the roll. In less than a minute, we were right in it, digging a damn foxhole. We never stopped digging until that frigate took the whole patrol. Next day the war began, so we got into the fight. And all that could beat us was the mosquitoes, giving us all a fight.
The whole Arab army just couldn't harm me, but mosquitoes bled me one.
We got to the Midler Pass, when Nasser presented free his Russian equipment, ready for shipment, back to our home country. But who does the rapping and who does the slapping? Nobody else but me. And on the Suez Canal, we're washing our weary feet, when in the canal a man shouts, "Inshallah, that's Nasser in retreat!" The whole Nasser who is swimming from Suez, that makes our day complete. We gave him what he deserves, fighting the brave reserve. We gave him what he deserves for fighting the brave reserve, fighting the brave reserve.
On June 5th, 1967, the third war of the Arab states against the people of Israel begins. 150 million Arabs, 2.5 million Israelis.
Day 1, 374 Arab aircraft destroyed. The Gaza Strip is in Israeli hands.
Day 2, Israeli infantry take Bethlehem, Hebron, Jenin, Latrun. The old city of Jerusalem is surrounded.
Day 3, Jerusalem captured by Israeli troops. The greatest armored battle in history is fought in the Mitla Pass. Egypt loses.
Day 4, the Egyptian army loses another 100 tanks in a desperate attempt to return to the canal. Egypt and Syria ask for a ceasefire.
Day 5, fighting continues in the Sinai. Syria bombards northern settlements. Israeli aircraft attack Syrian position on the Golan Heights.
Day 6. Israeli forces are 40 miles from Damascus.
One bright early morning, we put out to sea. We started our journey to our destiny. We sailed down to Tehran, past mountains so high, and nothing could stop us, 'cause we'd heard the cry from Sharm el-Sheikh. We'd all heard that echoing voice that called us to come back and rejoice. Our hearts were so happy, our eyes were so bright. The sun and the salt air gave a mystical light. Our throats were like parchment as our ship drew near. And when she was sighted, we let out a cheer to Sharm el-Sheikh, for we were returning at last to make of the future much more than the past. From Eilat to Tehran, then on anywhere, our ship can go traveling with the weather set fair. And now we're all hoping at Sharm el-Sheikh, the fishing boats sailing bring peace in their way. Sharm el-Sheikh, where life is beginning again, the start of a new hope of peace between men. Oh, Sharm el-Sheikh, yes, we have returned there at last to make of the future much more than the past. Oh, Sharm
el-Sheikh. 6 days later, the war is over and the jokes begin.
Well, Davy, 6 days. We got the war over in 6 days.
Well, you don't expect us to fight on Shabbos, do you? I'll tell you something else. It should have only lasted 5 days.
Why didn't it?
Well, we were marching on gefilte fish rations.
What's that got to do with it?
We had to march back. The commanding officer forgot the train.
It's not fair, you know.
What's not fair?
The Israelis have 2.5 million Jews on their side, and the Egyptians haven't got any.
Oh, yeah. But there's no question about it, you know, Ron. It was their finest hour. Or did it take longer?
Here.
What's that?
Did you hear Nasser wanted to quit?
What stopped him?
The Israeli government refused to accept his resignation.
I'll tell you something, they were very lucky, because next time we'll send a general with 2 eyes.
Here.
What's that?
Here comes Bernie. Why don't you sing with him?
That's a good idea, Ron. I think I will.
Nasser said he'd wait for Rabin, aye, aye, aye. Nasser said he'd wait for Rabin, aye, aye, aye.
Said when Rabin comes to me,
aye, aye, aye.
I'll drive those Jews into the sea.
Aye, 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 aye. Hey, Bernie.
Yes, Yes, Davy?
You know, I was reading the Bible this morning. I've come to the conclusion that Moses wasn't such a clever chap after all.
Now tread carefully, Davy. He happens to be a great favourite of mine, that Moses.
No, but what I mean, Bernie, is when he came down from Mount Sinai, remember when he came down?
Oh, yes, I remember, yes.
Well, if he'd have turned left instead of right, we'd have had the oil and they'd have had the sand.
Oh, yeah.
See?
He had to go back for the flame.
So Rabin came to call on Nasa, aye, aye, aye. Rabin came to call on Nasa, aye, aye, aye. Nasa heard a big kerplunk, aye, aye, aye. All his mix turned into junk, aye, 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 aye,
Aye, aye, aye.
Steady, Davy.
Can you see what I see, Bernie? Hey, Motek.
Yes?
How about you and I having a date tonight?
A date tonight?
Uh-huh.
But you must be mad. Don't you know there is a war on?
Oh, yes. But what about tomorrow night?
Tomorrow? Oh, yes.
Nasa said that isn't cricket, aye, aye, aye. Nasa said that isn't cricket, aye, aye, aye.
Oh, yeah, that's surprising, Jack.
Aye, aye, aye.
No, I can't knife you in the back.
Aye, 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 aye. Nasa said I was only joking, aye, aye, aye.
But my life, I was only joking.
Aye, aye, aye. Come on, Rabin, be a pal. Aye, aye, aye. Give back the Suez Canal. Aye, 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 aye. But Nasa started getting cocky. Aye, aye, aye. Once again he's getting cocky. Aye, aye, aye. If he wants to fight anew, aye, 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 he'll lose his job in Cairo too. Aye, 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 aye.
Has watched the unfolding of an epic of biblical proportions. It has witnessed the fulfillment of a prophecy and the completion of a myth as Moshe Dayan and his soldiers prayed at the Wailing Wall and the shofar sounded Israel's total restoration to the Jews.
Without Israel, there is no Jewish people. But Israel needs the total support of all Jews who are prepared to stand up and be counted. From this time on, all those who want to remain Jews must intensify their links and identification with Israel.
For though the Jews had returned to the land itself did not return to them until the sound of the horn was heard in that ruined holy place. In that moment, the stone heart of Jewish memory broke and returned to life.
אוויר הרים צלול כיין וריח אורנים נישא ברוח הערביים עם כל פעמונים ובתרדמת אילן ואבן שבויה בחלומה העיר אשר בדד יושבת
ובליבה חומה. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. אך בבוא היום לשיר לך ולך לקשור כתרים, כתונתי מציר בנייך מאחרון המשוררים. כי שמך צורב את השפתיים כנשיקת סערה, אם אשכחך ירושלים אשר כולה זהב. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור. קצרנו אל בורות המים, לשוק ולכיכר, שופר קורא בהר הבית, בעיר העתיקה. במערות אשר בסלע, אלפי שמשות צורחות, נשוב נרד אל ים המלח, בדרך